everyone, today I am doing something very different. I have no tutorial for you today, so sorry if that's what you were expecting, but I'm doing a vlog, and this is my very first time to do a vlog, so forgive me if I stumble with my words a little bit, but the reason that I chose to do a vlog instead of just write a blog post is what I'm talking about is so crucial for people to hear and to understand and to not feel alone with. So this is actually going to be part 2 for why I hesitate to have another baby. I just recently wrote a blog post about why I hesitate initially, and that's the main reason what I shared in part 1. But yeah, you have a wheel. Uppy. Okay, so in part 1, and honestly, if you haven't read part 1, I would suggest you do so that you don't think I'm just coming out of nowhere with random information. And actually, if you haven't even seen my blog or any tutorial or anything that I've ever posted, I'll fill you in briefly. I'm Rebecca, and this is Eliza, and this is Kanan, and they are 2 and 1. They are 11 and a half months apart, and I get to stay home with them all day. It's so much fun. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all you need to know, except that you should probably go back and read part 1 to this. So with part 2, I really, I thought long and hard about, whether I should do it this way or if I should just write it out. But I felt like if I were to just write it out, the heart behind it might not be conveyed in the way that I want it to be.
This is so big.
That is so big. That's pretty cool. So after I had Kanan, I was in heaven. It was amazing. For weeks, I would lose my breath because I was so overwhelmed with love. It's so amazing to hold your baby that has been in your womb. And I was in heaven. And then out of nowhere, I started feeling depression. And when I say that, I don't mean just today's a bad day. It was more than that. It was sincere and genuine depression. And so it was hard for me to admit that because my personality normally is one where, I can do it myself. I don't need help. I don't need, help is great. Sometimes, in general, I tend to want to do it myself and not rely on something to benefit me or to better myself, however you want to say it. But it got to the point where I was struggling enough that I needed to actually talk to my OB doctor. It was actually at my 6-week checkup, and he asked how I was doing, and I said at first, I was like, I'm doing good, I love my baby so much, and I did. I still do. I love my baby so much. And then I was like, and I lost it. I started crying. I was like, I'm struggling, emotionally. I'm out of whack. It's not anything that prayer is and I say this lightly. I don't want this to be read into, but I prayed about it, and my husband was so supportive. My family has been so supportive. Everyone was supportive. So talking to my doctor was that's all I had left to do. Because as much as I appreciated everyone's support, obviously I realized I needed more help. So he put me on an antidepressant medicine. And I would love to say that it helped, but what it did was make me feel like a zombie. Honestly, I was home, I'm taking care of my kids, and I would just sit there and be like emotionless. And if you know me, you know I'm pretty emotional. Not like I cry at everything and I'm up and down. I care about a lot of things, and I especially care about the people who matter most to me in my life. And obviously in that time, like my babies are my priority. I stay home and I take care of them all day long, every single day. And I love that. I don't want it to be any other way. But feeling emotionless in that time was more hindering than the precarious emotions that I had felt prior to taking the medication. And I would rather feel hard emotions than feel no emotion. And because that's how I'm wired. I am wired to feel emotion. Probably a lot of you are too. And so the struggle for me was, well, if I stop this medicine, I don't want to be a mess. I want to be present in every moment. The time with my kids is priceless. I will never get this time back. So I didn't want to miss out on a single second. So I debated long and hard about, you know, what to do. And my poor husband, he has been such a rock. He has a lot of wisdom, and he advised me to talk to my doctor about maybe trying a different medicine. And eventually I gave in, and I did go talk to my doctor about that. And so, yeah, we had to try quite a few different medicines, and that was hard. Like, I kept feeling like, well, what's wrong with me? Like, why is it requiring so many different medicines to be tested before I can, like, arrive at this place of being myself again? And I know a lot of people right now would tell me, you need to pray more, you need to, you know, you need to just go to Jesus, you need to do all that. And I have, and I had, and I did go to Jesus. But sometimes, and this is my biggest point for this part, is sometimes it's a chemical imbalance, and you need to admit the fact that no matter how hard you try other means aside from medicine, you really honestly could benefit from finding the right medication to help you with your anxiety or depression. And I know that's there's going to be controversy over that because so many people feel differently. And I'm sharing this with you very humbly because I don't think a lot of my family doesn't even know that I had to take medication. Yeah, so it's that big of a thing. Like, it's so strongly on my heart to share this so that I can, like, once I share the fact that I had to start taking medicine to feel functional and myself and all of that, I feel very strongly about that. Like, before I had Kanan, I wouldn't have had an opinion, but now, having gone through it, I have a strong opinion. And my opinion is the medicine has helped me be the best mom that I can be. I am present. I am deliberate about caring for my children and loving them, and for my husband also, obviously. Well, I didn't say that, but really, I am intentional about loving each of them in their own ways that they need to be loved, and it has helped because of the medication. So first of all, I want to say, if you feel like you're struggling and you know, if you're tempted to try something besides seeking help in the form that I did, if you are struggling to the point of, you know, wanting to harm yourself, please, please, please know that there are doctors out there who are willing to work with you and help you and get you back to feeling like yourself again. And that has been my case. I feel completely myself right now. I'm doing great. And that is because I humbled myself, and I realized that that is what it took to get me, you know, back into my groove and be able to handle taking care of my babies. Like, I call them babies, but they're not really babies anymore. It's kind of sad. But I just wanted to say that because if any of you are avoiding talking to your doctor about this, don't be ashamed. And that's the big thing too. Like, I really have a sense that depression has a stigma, and often I think that stigma is shame. And I think when you feel depressed, you feel ashamed of yourself because you should be able to work through it or whatever. But there are different forms of depression. Some people are depressed because of specific situations, and some people are depressed because of a chemical imbalance. And in my case, it was because of a chemical imbalance. So I don't belittle the situations where there is a specific reason why you are depressed, and I'm not at all. There's no judgment here at all. The only thing I'm trying to convey is don't be afraid to seek help in whatever form that looks like for you. Just don't be afraid to seek help. And you know, it took me a while to, like, even in my own heart, accept the fact that it was okay that I was taking medicine to help me, like, arrive back to feeling myself. Because I just felt like, you know, well, daggone it, like, I should either with my strong will or with Jesus's help, I should be able to get there, and I shouldn't have to have medicine. But you know what? Life is not always how we understand it to be. I wanted to just touch on the topic of anxiety because I initially struggled with depression, but then it led to anxiety. Never in my life had I had an anxiety attack until I started struggling after I had Kanan. And my anxiety attacks would always, every single time, catch me off guard because mentally I wasn't feeling anxious, and out of nowhere my heart would start racing, my hands would start tingling, I would start, like, feeling like I was gonna puke and like I was dizzy. And from what I read on the internet, which that can be so dangerous, I was having anxiety attacks, and that was terrible, absolutely terrible. I don't know if any of you have experienced the same thing, but if you have, it literally is the hardest thing to experience. And so I had to then go to my doctor again and talk about the anxiety. We got the depression under control, but now let's talk about the anxiety, because I can't have anxiety attacks that keep me from being able to be a mom to my kids. They need me present. I need to be able to take care of them. But if I'm having this struggle, I can't fully be able to take care of them. So ultimately, we got that straightened out. We got it figured out. And now, you know, now things are smooth sailing. My point, though, behind all of this is there's nothing to be ashamed about if you're struggling with depression or anxiety. If anything, you should be proud of yourself for acknowledging it, and you should be proud of yourself for seeking help. And like, people who haven't struggled with it, it's really hard for them to understand the ins and outs of it. And it's okay, they don't have to understand, but you have to do what's best for you. And if you are struggling, I strongly encourage you to do whatever it takes to arrive at a healthy place. Like, I'm not advocating medicine, but that is what worked for me. That is, you know, that's what I've had to do. And I feel like that's because there's a stigma. There's a stigma over the whole concept of depression and anxiety, and there shouldn't be. There really shouldn't be, because it's outside of your control. It's not you. It's not anything like you're doing wrong or whatever. It's not your fault if you're struggling. And I have to remind myself of that daily. I mean, when I say that, I'm speaking to myself also. I don't know. Now that I have found a place of just feeling myself again and just feeling alive and feeling well, it was so worth the battle that it took to get to this point. So the battle may be fierce, and the battle might threaten you to feel as though it will kill you, but you will not be killed. You are more than a conqueror, and I proclaim that over you, and I believe that for you, and I will always stand in that place. And if you need to talk to me at all about this more in depth, I'm open. I'm so open to hearing from you. I would love to. I'll end this by saying part of the reason I'm hesitant to have another baby is what I stated in part 1, and then also because for the first time ever in my life, I've struggled with depression and anxiety. And you know, what I've shared and what I post is genuine. I'm not being fake, but it's taken a lot of effort to get to the place that I am. And so I want you to feel encouraged to do whatever you have to do to arrive at that place for yourself as well. And there is no shame. Please feel free. Like, I want to be there for you. If you have no strength, I want to be your strength. And if you have no hope, I want to pray for you and give you hope. I want to encourage you to persevere. I want to encourage you to not give up. I want to encourage you to not think of yourself as anything less than amazing and purposeful. Your life is purposeful. I don't know what your life looks like, but it has purpose, and I believe that for you. So if you need someone to talk to, sorry about the noise, but really, I am here. You can come to me, and I will be more than happy to pray for you or talk to you or whatever, encourage you. If you don't want me to pray for you, that's fine. I'm an open book. The main reason actually that I'm hesitant to have another baby is because of my struggle with depression and anxiety. And so I'm saying that, and I'm being very, very vulnerable here. Like, a lot of my family doesn't even know that I've struggled with depression and that I've had to go on medicine. But I feel like there's at least one person out there who would benefit from hearing this. I really strongly believe I am to share this for a reason. And I hope, if nothing else, it encourages you. Honey, if you want to go play with him, why don't you go do that, okay? Okay. So just know, like, I want to be, even if you don't want to go talk to a doctor, if you don't have a friend or a family member who you feel like would understand what you're going through because they haven't gone through it themselves, I am here. I really am. I want to be an open door. So that was maybe the most vulnerable I've ever been, like, to the general public, because anyone can see this, but there's like a compelling on my heart to share this, and I'm not sure in what way it would touch you, and if it doesn't touch you, fine, that's great, but I really sincerely hope that someone walks away feeling encouraged. That's always my intention with any video or any blog post that I write. My intention and hope and goal is that you will feel encouraged at the end. So ultimately, I will leave it by saying, do not feel shame. Do not, well, I don't want to tell you what to feel, actually. Try not to feel shame. Try not to feel worthless. Try not to feel hopeless. Try not to believe those lies, because they are lies. And try to believe that your life is for a reason, and your life has beautiful, wonderful, amazing potential. And I don't know you, but I believe it for you. And I hope that you are encouraged and that you can just walk away with a weight off your shoulder. I hope that you can know that I am praying for you. Even if I don't know you, I am praying for you. And I'm here too. I'm here for you. So yeah, that was rambling, and probably if I had done a blog post, it would have been much more comprehensible. But I didn't. I'm a rambler. I just talk a lot. So sorry about that. But I hope you are having a good day. And I appreciate you and I value you. So know that if you feel no one else values your life, I do.
I'm right.
What? Me? So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I went on far too long, I'm sure. But be blessed and be encouraged, and know that you're beautiful and you are so loved. Liza, can you say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Blow kisses? Yeah. Can you say I love you?
Love you.
We love you. Both of us do, and I'm sure Kanan does too. He's a boy and he's busy. So we will see. What? What do you want to say? I will talk to you guys again soon, and hopefully this video made sense and was encouraging. Be blessed, and I will see you soon.